Good morning. Um, sorry, I was texting. um, we're trying to get it's so hard to try to get all this information. Um, I try to do handmade sort of gifts with my family, extended family, and it's hard though because you don't always have the information you need, and then you're waiting for people to get back to you with the right information, and people's what size people are now, and you know so then it becomes a whole like conversation. Like, are you sure? Is that men's sizes or women's sizes? Are it's a an imperfect medium, this texting, right? So I notice, and I don't know if you do, if you text a lot or even not a lot. I notice that people tend to, although I like the idea of texting, right? Because you can ask a question, it's there. um they can refer back to the question. They don't have to, they've forgotten what it is you asked for. Um, but what I don't like is that people tend to, they don't answer the question, which is so weird. Like, you'll ask a question and then they'll respond, but they don't actually answer your question. What's up with that? It's strange. Um, Maybe it's just some people that do that. I do notice a few people in my family are more prone to that than others. So um, hopefully I have the information I need. Um, but yeah, there you go. It's a strange thing. Good morning, Dora and Ruth and Susan and Deb. Yes, isn't the sun nice? And look, we did get some snow, didn't we? Um, Not a whole bunch, but we got some. Thankfully, the roads were still pretty good, um, because my son was out driving around. He's working nights, so he um, I think, kind of missed the worst of it, right? Uh, by the time he went to work, it wasn't too bad, and then it was done by the time he came home. So good enough. So we got through the first one. I see that we're supposed to maybe have some next week around Christmas Day, um, but again, it looks like sort of rain, snow, and fairly high temps. So probably nothing much to speak of, which isn't a bad thing, right? All right. I don't really. I was usually, I don't necessarily plan what I'm going to talk about when I come in here. I just kind of go with what comes to mind. Usually something does, or something I say, or I'm talking about reminds me of something that I had wanted to talk about. But today I don't really think I have anything. So um, let's just do some breathing. And I realized, I think yesterday I talked about doing some pranayama, and we never actually did. So that's kind of funny. But maybe you did on your end. I think I forgot about it. So that's fine. So let's do some here. And we're going to do that shorter inhale, longer exhale. So not short inhale, right? But shorter than the exhale. Um, Inhaling to a count of 4, exhaling to a count of 8. Thereabouts, you could make it how whatever you want, right? If you're feeling like you can't really take some deep breaths today, make it a little shorter. If you have the space to do more, do more. But trying to make the exhale about twice as long. Um, and you don't have to be, too like careful about this. You know, do your best. don't 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 count, precisely, and it'll be fine. As in everything with yoga, right? Everything is very personal, and it needs to be adapted to whatever works for you. Um, if you find that counting is super distracting for you and you can't really relax, then maybe count the first one just to get a feel of it, and then just just go with it and see what happens. The count is just there for people like me who who are very worried about doing it exactly the most correct way. Right? I hope that you aren't all burdened by that feeling, but you may be. And if so, the count is there for you. So we're sitting up, relaxing the shoulders, breathing in and out through the nose. And then just coming back to a normal breath. So this type of breathing, this pranayama, is it's a great thing if you're feeling a little anxious or upset, if you've had an argument or conflict with someone. This is a great way to kind of let go of all of that. Um, what it does is it kind of forces, I shouldn't say forces, it sort of jump starts your body into a relaxation mode. Um, so when you have these sort of emotions and situations in your life, um, they're not over when you say they're over. They're over when your body says they're over, right? Um, because it starts in the mind, right? It starts in the emotions, but then the body uh, goes along, right? The body starts to go through its processes that are keyed and tied to what's going on. So you may be done, right? You may be over whatever it is in here, but your body is still, there's still a lot of these hormones and stuff that's you've released into the body that are happening, right? The tension is still there. The things that physically happen to your body under stress are still there. Um, this kind of is so like I think about it, if you have a computer, right, that's frozen or locked up. I know you're not supposed. I'm sure you're not supposed to do this, and my husband would probably be mad to find this out. But I turn it off, right? Sometimes just turn it off, right? And I'm sure it's not necessarily good for the computer, but it is good for us. Um, and you start over, right? You reboot the system. Um, this is a way of doing that. Um, we are giving the body this sort of strong push to relax. Right? Um, you can't do that kind of breathing when you are under stress. It's just not going to happen. So when um, we're instructing the body that things are okay and that we can get back to normal. Um, so we can even do this when things aren't necessarily okay, right? Because you may be under. I mean, a lot of us are under sort of a constant level of stress and concern about stuff that's going on. Um, you don't have to forget about all that, but you can let it go, right? It'll come back up, and but what we're trying to do is recognize that these feelings and these thoughts have an effect on the body. Know when that's starting to happen. And you may know this already, right? I mean, clearly, if you've had a big conflict or an argument or something, you feel that in the body. The low level type of thing, you may not notice right away, or maybe you do, right? I hope you do. This idea that we will get the signs and the signals coming from the body, right? So tension in the shoulders, stomach upset, you know, everybody carries it in different places at different times. Um, my hands, sometimes I'll wake up in the morning and my hands hurt and I'll know I've probably been sleeping like this. uh, and sometimes you may notice in the course of the day that you're holding your hands very tight. You're holding your body very tight. This is kind of residual tension. And, we can um, we can look out for it and try to stop when it comes, or take a break. Or you can also just do this as sort of routine maintenance, like taking out the trash, right? So we have a long going thing at my house with the trash. And I never take out the trash because that's just not my job, right? I got a lot of jobs. That's not one of my jobs. I got a bunch of other people's in the house. They can do that. So it varies between my husband and the kids whose job it is right at this time to take out the trash. But something that they've all, kind of decided on their own is that the trash does not need to be taken out if it's not completely full. Um, but of course, if you don't do it close to the time that the trash gets taken, right? So if you think on Friday, let's say, that the trash is not full, so you don't bother to take it out, and then you forget on Sunday, you're in big trouble, right? Too much trash. So my point is that you should dump the trash at the same time every day. Have a schedule. I mean, it's okay if it's not quite full. Some weeks it won't be. Some weeks you're going to be very peaceful and calm. Some weeks things are going to be crazy. But if you have a schedule for resetting, right? Dumping the trash, things never get out of control. You never get over a certain point. So, um, figure out a schedule that works for you. Use the pranayama, use the meditation, use all of these tools to keep you in good shape so that your trash can is never overflowing. And you feel good. You feel like your things are manageable. Um, and, just figure out what works for you. It might be once a week. It might be twice a week. It could be every day. It's not something you can overdo, right? No one ever overdosed on relaxation. Um, so feel free to take as much as you need. Good morning, Sandra. Yeah, it's pretty cold, but it's nice and warm in my room, so that's pretty good. Hopefully, it's warm at your house too. Um, I notice the house stays pretty warm even in the winter unless it's windy. When it's windy, there's nothing that helps. It's cold. All right. So let's do some asana. Relaxing the shoulders and bring the head down. And we're just going to let it hang here. Come on back up. Keep lifting. Back to center, breath in, then lowering over to the side. Doesn't matter which side. And then back up, moving to the other side. And back up. Lean forward and then move around. Making a big circle with the body. One way and the other. Back up. Arms wide. Take a deep breath. And then exhale, hands together. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Once more. Inhale. And exhale. Interlace the fingers. Lift the hands. Gazing up. And then arms down by your side. Lifting. And lower. Lift. Lower. Once more. Lifting up. Right hand by your side. Reach across with the left. Switch. And back up. Lift the shoulders. Roll back. And roll forward. So if you're doing that pranayama, you might want to do it for maybe 5 minutes or so. You can see how you feel. If you're doing it sort of as a regular practice, you'll notice when your body starts to kind of move into that relaxation mode, and then you'll know like when you've maybe done enough. But at first, you might go for, and I mean, if 5 minutes is daunting, then try a minute or 2 minutes, and then maybe work up from there to the point where you think it's doing you some good. Walk the hands out. Back up, hands behind you, squeeze the shoulders together, gazing up. And back up to your seat. Left hand on right knee, right arm behind you. Sit up tall and twist. Back to center, switch sides. Back to center, tabletop. And then we're sitting back on the heels. Back up. Tabletop to downward dog. Step the feet up. So we're going to fold here. Rising up. Standing tall. Deep breath in and out. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up to a flat back. On the exhale, we're stepping back with the right. Drop the knee, arms overhead. Hands down to the mat, moving back, downward dog. Inhale, high plank, and then lower down. Inhale, lifting up head and chest. Lower. Inhale, lift. And lower. Inhale, lift. And lower. Moving back up. Tabletop to downward dog. Take one more breath, and then we're stepping right foot up. Drop the left knee, arms overhead. Hands down to the mat. Step the back foot up and fold. Inhale, up to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Arms by your side. Breath in and out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, left foot steps back. Set your knee down, arms overhead. Hands to the mat. Moving back, downward dog, forward to high plank, and then lower. Inhale, lift, lower, lift, and lower. Once more, lifting up and lower down. Tabletop to downward dog. Take one more breath, and left foot steps up. Drop your knee, arms overhead, and hands back down to the mat. Back foot steps up and fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift high. Back to mountain. Breath in and breath out. Let's step to the side. We've got wide legs. Take a breath here and then lean forward. So hands can come down onto the legs or down onto the floor. If you've got a block, you could, my block is too far away, but you could rest on the block. Bring your hands back to the waist. Engage the thighs. Use that strength in the legs to keep you engaged as you're lifting. Right? So it's not all in the back. It's using the legs. So the legs are, some of the largest muscles in the body. You want to use them. Use that strength. Use that power that you have there to help you out in, some of the folds, things like that, where you don't want to be using up all your back for that. Turn, so we're facing front. Right leg out, left leg behind. Let's interlace the fingers behind our back. Take a deep breath. Squeeze the shoulders together. And then fold. Might have a bend in the knee. If that helps. And then we're going to bring the hands down to the mat. So you could also use a block here if you want. So you're not so far down. But we're going to shift the weight so that we're on this right leg. And then we're lifting up with the left. So just as high as you feel comfortable. It doesn't have to be really high. Just balancing here. And then set the back foot down We'll step it up and we'll just be in a fold for a couple of breaths. Rising up, arms overhead, and back to mountain. Breath in and breath out. Stepping again to the side. Interlace the fingers behind your back. Squeeze the shoulders together. Take a deep breath and fold. Rising up, use that leg strength. Take a breath, release the arms up overhead. And then down by your side. Let's walk the feet in. So we're about shoulder width or so. Ready for the squat. Take a deep breath. And then bend the knees, lowering down. One more breath. Maybe you're already up. That's okay too. Rising up. Release the hands and then facing the front again. This time left leg is out, right leg behind. Shoulders back. Interlace the fingers. Deep breath and fold. Let's bring the hands down, out in front of the left foot. You could also use a block, right? Now I can reach a block, so you could be like this or up like this, your pick, and then we're lifting that right leg. And breathe. You can set it down and try again, you don't have to stay up the whole time. And then when you're ready, set the foot back down. We're going to step back foot up, be in a fold. Rising up, arms overhead. And back. Breath in and breath out. Over here, let's do another balance. We can do tree. So standing on the left foot to start, right foot maybe right at the ankle, and then you can lift the toe to practice. If you can bring the foot higher, you can do that as well. Working that central balance. So you want to be steady. If you are, then hands might extend, but right, that's the last step in the process. And not every day are we going to feel up to that, right? Maybe we're going to do a little less. That is fine. Set the foot down. We'll switch. So we are standing on the right. Got our whatever level we're doing with the foot. Knee is rotated out to the side, nice and upright. Breathe. And then bring it all back down. Bicycle out the legs. And let's come on down to a seat on the mat. Soles of the feet together. Sitting up tall. Take our breath and fold. Remember, we're hinging from the hips. So we want a nice flat back. We don't want to be curved in the shoulders or, thinking about bending at the waist. Leading with the chest, pulling the shoulders back. You may not feel like you're going down as far, and that's fine. But you are keeping the back nice and straight, which is, that's the goal, right? We're trying to keep that straight, not pull things out. When we curve the back and do different things, we're kind of moving stuff out of place. We don't want to do that. We want to keep it all in a nice straight line. Our back is flexible for good reason, but don't want to overtax that, right? We want to hinge where we should be hinging, right? Hinge the shoulders, hinge the hips. Those are our big movement points. Everything else, it's just a gentle movement, right? And then let's lower down on the back. Resting on the mat. We're going to bring the right ankle on top of the left knee. You might be staying here, or you could bring that left leg closer to the body. And then set the foot down. But keep that right foot on top of the knee. Goalpost arms or arms to a T, and then lowering that knee over to the side. So the right foot is going down. It may touch the floor, it might not. That's okay. We're just taking our twist. And back. Let's switch. And then resting the right foot back down. We're going to move that knee over to the right, left foot moves down towards the mat. And then back. Let's set both feet on the mat. We're going to hug the knees into the chest. Rock a little side to side. Let's do happy baby here. If you can get a hold of the feet or maybe the ankles or calves, whatever you can get a hold of, maybe the backs of the knees. It's fine. We're just drawing that sort of knee down toward the armpits. Staying still here, or you can move around side to side if that feels good. And then we're going to extend the legs straight up, hands by your side. And then we can lower down however you want. Finding a comfortable place to rest on your mat for your Shavasana. Find that breath, focusing on the sensations in the body. So we know, right? Everybody knows. We've heard about it, we've read about it. Doctors will tell you that stress is very damaging to the body. But stress itself, right? It isn't the stress itself. There are some people that have very stressful lives indeed, right? Surgeons and firefighters and paramedics, and all of these. There are a lot of jobs and things where that's part of the job. You can't avoid it. You're really working in life and death situations. People living in war zones, people living in very difficult situations. It's a constant source of stress. So it isn't so much what's happening, it's how are we dealing with what's happening? What is our reaction to that stress? Can we let it sort of flow through us and past us? Can we find our center and keep ourself on task regardless of what's happening around us? Can we let go of the situations that upset us and give us trouble, right? That's the key. If you only ever learn one thing from yoga, I hope that that is the one thing. To know that you can let that stuff go. You can breathe it through the body. You can um, do physical exercise to move it through the body. Um, you can choose to dwell on those thoughts or not. I won't say any of it's easy. It takes practice, it takes determination. But I can't think of anything more important for your own mental health and for your physical well being. Learning how to let those things go, accepting the presence of those things, the constant presence for you and for everyone else, knowing that everyone reacts to things differently. What might seem very stressful to one person might seem like nothing to another. It's not a competition, it's not a value judgment. If you're having trouble, you're having trouble. So let it go. So, beginning to move a little, fingers and toes, hands and feet, maybe stretching if you feel like it. And then make your way up to a seat. We'll bring hands together for a breath in and out. Thank you for taking some time this morning for yoga and for sharing it with me and everyone else. I hope you have a lovely Thursday. Namaste. Okay, great. Um, meditation, 5 minutes. um, this is also, you could take this 5 minutes to do your pranayama if you want to. See how that goes. It may be a lot, but you could try it for a little bit. See if you want to. I'm not going to tell you how to do your meditation. You can do it however you want. But sitting up comfortably or laying on the mat, that's up to you too. Close the eyes, relax, find that peaceful place within, holding that light focus, and breathe. Just let any thoughts pass by. okay. um, got some yoga, got some meditation. Now go have a great day. Enjoy the sun, but stay warm. And I'll be back tomorrow, Friday.